Hello and welcome to West Wales. It's a very rainy, dull, grey November day, so perfect opportunity to play with a new toy just down here. So very lovely little set of wool combs, and I was just going to sit here and prepare the Lincoln long wool for the spin along video, which will be in a few days' time. I thought, why don't I just kind of bring you along, show you what I'm doing? I have to tell you, quite new to this whole using wool combs. I have only really used my funny little kind of make do combs, which are honey uncapping combs, which do kind of work, and they're just sort of £3 or £4, so they're a really kind of cheapo way of processing long wools. But really, I decided it was time that I, got some wool combs. I'll show you them in a little bit more detail, but I'll show you what I'm going to work on. So I have this big kilo bag of Lincoln long wool, and I bought this from Benridge Woolworks as a whole fleece. And I did the thing I tell people not to do, and that's I bought it when it was over a year old. So it meant the lanolin was really hard, and it took 2 goes to scour it properly. As I said, nothing wrong with using old wool, other than it's just quite difficult to get the lanolin out because the lanolin's really set. So yeah, I kind of break my own rules, but actually it's a lovely fleece. So I'm okay with the fact that it took a bit of work to get there. So the next stage is to comb it. And I have had a little go. So I've been making these little nests, and I'm going to try and do a true worsted, meaning that I am combing all one way. So I'll show you properly in a minute. So I'm kind of putting the cut ends here and having the tips pointing that way. Does that make sense? And so in theory, a true worsted. Not overly proficient at it yet, and I was sort of hoping that you'd give me some pointers. You can use these combs in 2 ways. So you can actually fix it, because I've got clamps, so I can fix it to the table, or you can just use them a la Viking combs like this. They have a single line of tines. You can get double tines. Double tines are good for a very fine wool, but as I don't particularly work with fine wools, I thought just single tines would be fine. And also you can blend on single tines. So that's sort of, I thought I would go for those. And it comes with, oops, what does it come with? It comes with a little diz and then a tine straightening tool. So that's kind of all very neat and sits. I'll show you again. I will show you properly in a minute. Kind of sits right. Concentrate on what I'm doing. I'll put it back together. It kind of all comes. It's very neat, and it just kind of sits in its little case thing. And you can get left-handed or right-handed. I have gone for left-handed, although I am incredibly ambidextrous. Truly, I am left-handed, but because it's a right-handed world, I've learnt to do a lot of things with my right hand. So quite often people kind of say, oh, you're ambidextrous. Well, yes, to a point. I am ambidextrous for lots and lots of things. I can't write with my right hand, and yes, I can't crochet with my right hand. So lots of things came out of my last video. I'm not really doing a very good introduction. I'm just waffling. Sorry, I've launched straight into it, but I've kind of got a list of things that came out of the last video, which was my 5,000 subs video. So kind of questions and various things. So I'm going to answer that. So if you're new here, and it will be a miracle if you've stayed this far, my name is Becca, and this channel is me sort of documenting my adventures in the fibre arts. So spinning, knitting, weaving, dyeing, processing yarn, and kind of a few other lifestyle bits chucked in occasionally, but mostly just me messing about with wool, if I'm absolutely honest. Right, okay, so what am I going to do? I am going to show, first of all, I'm going to show you what I was doing yesterday. So, lovely box of Rolex. And it's down here, sorry, this is all kind of not really in the right place. I think I might have to do a bit of editing to this video. Right, okay, so I knitted up this little sample, and this is what I was spinning, my test spin, when I was doing my last video. And I kind of decided what I wanted to make, because I only have a pair of socks cast on at the moment, and I'm on my second sock, and I'm about that far in. And I want to make another shrug. And I was wearing one of the shrugs that I've made fairly recently, and I was going to put it on, but I've literally just come in from walking the dog, and I have my my window of time when I can do my fibre arts. So I was like, am I going to kind of change into my YouTube clothes, so kind of checky shirt and something else? No, I'm not. I'm just going to wear what I was wearing to walk the dog. I've got slightly damp hair, so as it dries out, it's kind of going to get frizzier and frizzier, but hey ho. So yeah, so I made those, and I'm going to spin those at some point on the channel. And in a few days' time, I'm going to carry on with spinning for my rare breed study, rare breed spin along, whatever it is I'm calling it. I don't know, I've forgotten now. Anyway, so what I'm spinning next is the Lincoln Longwool. But in order to spin that, I have to prep it. Before I turn the camera around and show you the wool combs, I'm going to show you what I have been using to process Longwool. Honey uncapping combs. They work, they're fine, it's slow. You have to be very careful not to stab yourself. I have stabbed my thumb a couple of times, but they're a few pounds. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can get them off Amazon, or honey supply places if you keep bees. And yeah, it works. I have also used a dog comb, and for when I was pulling out locks, and because I'm not really an art yarn spinner, I don't particularly spin locks, so I haven't been pulling the locks out. But occasionally when I have, I've kind of separated the locks out and just done the ends with this. And again, that was on Amazon. Dog comb, cheap as chips, and effective. Slow but effective. Right. I have also got a list of kind of things, as I've said. So I'm going to do some combing and some chatting, and just bring up my kind of, if I can read my own writing, which it's very scribbly, then we'll go from there. Right, and attach these to the table, and let's do some wool prep. So the idea here is you are going to be my virtual teachers, because I know there'll be loads of people watching who use wool combs all the time and are really proficient. Okay, so I do know some things. So I know that's the tip, and I know that's the cut end, and I know I have to kind of do that. So that bit I know. And I ended up sort of doing a bit of a hybrid. So I was doing this, having them fixed, taking them off, and then sort of using them not fixed. But I don't think that was the best method. And oh, there's a little bit of VM in this. There's not very much. There really wasn't very much at all. But there is the occasional bit. But as I've said many times, sheep and hedges, there's like magnets to them. They can't help themselves. They just have to pick up everything that's in a hedge. But this looks a bit like straw, so maybe this was from being inside or being in a trailer or something. Anyway, there you go. So this is what I'm doing. So as I carry on doing this, I have got my little list over here to refer to things that I want to talk about today. And the first one I want to talk about is a little bit of an advert, actually, and it is an advert for Bex at the Woven Briar. If you are on Instagram, you may well have come across her. She makes, what does she make? She makes very nice wraps, hand woven wraps. She's also a shepherd and keeps sheep in Somerset, and she teaches spinning and weaving and lots of goodness, and she's a very lovely lady, and she has a couple of workshops running in December. If you want to learn the basics of weaving on a rigid heddle loom, she's doing a sort of make a scarf workshop, and she's going to have the looms all warped up for you so that you then just kind of can concentrate on the weaving part. And she's got a lovely selection of wool from her sheep, plant dyed wools, all sorts of things. They're going to be really small groups of 4. Now, I sent her a quick message yesterday to check that she still had spaces, and there are still a few spaces. I will leave all her links in the description, and I will also put all her kind of information in the newsletter, which I have started writing. So my monthly newsletter, in my head, I'm going to write it on the first Tuesday of the month. What actually happens is I panic and it comes out in the middle of the month because, I kind of think, oh, I'll do that in a minute, and then it never actually gets done. And then suddenly I go, oh, I really must write it. It's nearly the middle of the month. And then I write it and it's the middle of the month again. So I'll put all the details, as I say, I'll put her links in the description, and then I'll also put the details in the newsletter, so you will get it twice. And I am only telling you about it just because I thought it was such an excellent opportunity, and it's such nice little groups. And if I still lived in Somerset and didn't live a 4-hour drive away, I would be going to it. But as I do live rather a long way away, and other things like partners and dogs, then I'm not going. But I thought, well, I would like to support her, so I'm going to tell you all about it, and then you can see if it's something you want to do. So that was my first thing on my list. Then what is the next thing on my list? Oh, yes. So a thank you to NZNZ for recommending the Haptic and Hue podcast on YouTube. I mean, it's probably other places as well, but it definitely is on YouTube. And oh, what an absolute delight. So I have shared that in the community tab. If you haven't checked it out, really just fabulous, 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 fabulous. All about sort of textile and fibre arts. And yeah, it is very, very good listening. Yeah, so that was that. Thank you. Now, my other big thank you is to several people who know who they are, who were very generous and bought me a coffee after my 5,000 sub video. It will go towards things to show you on the channel, so fibre and equipment. And I will kind of, I sort of save up the coffees until I've got enough to do a decent order. And then I will do that. So thank you so much. It's very, very generous. You are just so generous, and it really does mean that I can share a much wider variety of things on the channel than I would otherwise be able to. Okay, so that I think is kind of loaded up. Now, question, have I overloaded? That's about halfway up. Have I underloaded? Have I done this right? Have I done it wrong? Now, my understanding is the next thing is I'm going to go at that angle, and I'm going to start with the tips. So just combing out the tips. I probably shouldn't be putting my hands there, should I? So this is, yeah, okay. Is this working? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Again, tell me. I mean, I have watched lots of videos, but there is no substitute for actually kind of trying to do it yourself. And what I really miss about not being able to get to like a group is that, you can kind of go along to the group and say to someone who knows, am I doing this right? What should I be doing? In-person teaching is just, oh, there's nothing like it. So, right. This feels like it's kind of right. Okay, what's the next thing on my list? Ah, yeah. So in my last video, I was sort of saying that I am kind of back and forwards with the idea of just using natural dyes. And I've been flip-flopping about this for months. And I love the idea of it. And then I was making those railings that I showed you at the beginning, and I was using bits and pieces from the stash. And of course, it's not all natural dyed in my stash. There's plenty of stuff that's being dyed with synthetic dyes. And I was like, oh, I don't think I can give these up. I love the colours so much. But I was reminded by, who was I reminded by? I want to say Claire. I was reminded by Claire, I think. I apologise if I've got your name wrong. But anyway, I was reminded that Ashford acid dyes have all sorts of sort of environmental kind of, I was going to say awards, but that's the wrong word, but they comply with all sorts of environmental legislation. And I mean, I always like them because they are completely non-toxic, but I'd sort of forgotten that they have all these environmental certifications. There you go, that's the word I was looking for. So they've got lots of environmental certifications. And so I was like, yes. Kind of back to my old position of, if it's quite hard to get the colour from a natural dye, and I mean blue is the one that's so difficult to get, then maybe you are allowed to use acid dyes, but use Ashford acid dyes. I don't know. As I say, I go back and forwards about it all the time. I'm always kind of doing a whole, yes, this is what I'm going to do. And then when it actually comes to the reality of it, I'm like, oh, I don't think I want to. Yeah. Anyway, so that's sort of, thank you for the reminder about those acid dyes, about the Ashford acid dyes, because I have still got some unused Ashford acid dyes. And right at the beginning of the channel, I did some space dyeing to make socks. And it wasn't yarn, it was, I was space dyeing. What was I space dyeing? A top, comb top. It was probably Cambrian wool, I suspect. I think it was, or maybe it wasn't, maybe it was Clin. It might have been Clin actually. Anyway, I was kind of thinking, yeah, I actually really enjoyed doing that, and maybe I should do it again. Yeah, so within the space of 2 days, I've gone back to going, oh, actually, I don't think I can give up these synthetic dyes. The colours are too nice. Okay, so am I getting there? Am I doing this right? So I have been sort of getting to this point and then sort of trying not to completely get everything tied up and then sort of discarding these. Not that I'm not going to use them, because I probably will just not comb them, I'll card them, doing that. And then swapping this over and doing it again. So please let me know if I'm getting this right or if I'm doing it all wrong. But it's a good workout for your arms. And I sort of, I quite like doing things where you kind of think, oh yes, this is me getting my weight training in, or my exercise. It's like when I split logs, it's like, yeah, I don't need to go to the gym, I'm splitting logs, or, you know, kind of carrying sacks of compost or something around. It's like, yeah, this is my weight training. I don't actually need to get to the gym. I find the gym a bit boring. we're swimming at the moment. No, we're not swimming at the moment. I'm sitting here, but we, you know, kind of our thing that we're doing at the moment is swimming. So we go to one of the local pools, and Andrew is like Aquaman. I mean, he is not the swimmer he was since he had his brain hemorrhage, but he still can swim. I mean, getting in and out of the pool is all a bit scary, but once he's in the water, yeah, he's like fish boy. He's off. I would like to persuade him to try the sea, because he did used to really like swimming in the seas and the rivers, but I think maybe I can understand why he doesn't want to. Yeah, so that's our kind of, I mean, obviously I walk every day as well with the dog, so I walk twice a day with the dog, but we do go to the local swimming pool and get a bit of exercise that way. Oh, I think I'm doing this wrong again. So how many times do I kind of change the combs over? So I was watching somebody combing Shetland, which obviously is much finer than this, because this is more of a medium type of wool. Well, I mean, it's kind of medium to fine. It's not, you know, it's not particular. Oh, I was wondering if I needed the second clamp. I think the answer is yes, I do. Right, so I think I shall be editing this bit. I've got quite a lot of bits of VM in my apron as well. Okay, so actually I really did need 2 clamps on here. Now I've seen people using a spray bottle with water and essential oil and just giving their fibre a bit of a spritz. And I've also seen people not doing that. So wise folk of the fibre arts world, what should I be doing? Do you use a water spray when you're combing? I mean, I probably will experiment, but it is always good to know what other people do. So still quite a lot of long stuff on there. Now I feel like I want to give it, I mean, not that I finished this yet, but I feel like I want to give it another pass. It doesn't, there's still a few bits that are not completely combed out. I found dizzing quite difficult, which I was surprised at because I have used a diz more than once in my life. But see, what happened was when we downsized, I got rid of an awful lot of my equipment because I told myself I was only going to be buying prepared fibre. I wasn't going to be doing my own fibre prep anymore. But slowly, it's all crept back in. And to the point where I was looking at drum carder last night and I was like, oh, Rebecca, you had 2 of those. But when we moved here, I really wasn't sure we were going to have enough space. I wasn't really sure if I was going to have the time to do it. You know, that was quite a long time ago, and Andrew had only just sort of come out of hospital, and he hadn't adapted sort of his life the way he has now to his injury. So I was like, I don't know. And, you know, the moving lorry, if you kind of move too much stuff, you have to get a bigger lorry. And I was, you know, doing my usual, oh, I shall be frugal and just get rid of things I don't need. So I sold my 2 drum carders. I had an Ashford fine drum, or it was for fine combing, you know, not combing, carding. And I also had a Louette electric drum carder, and I sold them both. And now I'm rather wishing I still had the Ashford one. I wouldn't go back to the electric drum carder. I'm never going to do the amount of fibre prep I was doing when I owned that. But yeah. So I'm going to take this off, and this is going to be carded. But I think I'm going to attempt to diz that. So you can tell me if I shouldn't have, if I should have given it another pass. Now, as I said earlier, not great at dizzing because I don't do it very often, haven't done it for ages. So, see, I don't think. Right, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. I expect you can hear the rain on the roof. It's been a miserable couple of weeks weather-wise. Okay, so let's get this diz going. Despite the fact that I have washed this and scoured it twice, there still is a bit of lanolin in this. I mean, not so much that it's freaking me out, because I don't like the feeling of lanolin. It's fine. This is not freak out amounts of lanolin. This is just kind of, there's a bit of grease in it, but it's fine. So please tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. Tips and tricks. I mean, long wool has a bit of a reputation for being quite difficult to prepare, but I really like spinning it. And generally, I've only ever bought it as comb top. So I bought a Gotland a little while ago. That's all on the channel, but it wasn't a particularly long wool version. A long wool version. It was a shearling, so the fibre was not very long. I'm not doing a very good job here, folks. This is all going a bit horribly wrong. So one of the reasons they tell you not to prepare long wools on a drum carder or on cards is that it's too long. And particularly on a drum carder, you can just totally lock up your fibres and you can't get your fibres off the drum. However, if you have got a really big drum carder, like the electric Luette, where the the whole drum is pretty big, then you might well be able to. And the lady who taught me fibre prep, that's exactly what she used for her Lincoln long wools and never had a problem. But the reason people tell you not to do it is because it can go a bit horribly wrong. Right. I mean, I will get better at this. And if you are a new hand spinner and you're feeling a bit despondent because you're not spinning the yarn you want to use, do not fear, because we all started there, and just practice, practice, practice. So I think I could have just not shown you this, because this is, me being a bit rubbish at something. But I don't mind being a bit rubbish at something. And I don't mind showing you that I'm a bit rubbish at something. Because I know that in the comments, there will be people who will be able to give me the best tips of how to actually do this. Yeah, I don't think I combed this out enough. But I am looking forward to spinning it. And I'm hoping I should be able to get that done for the weekend, so either Saturday or Sunday. I have tried to have a kind of set day when I put the videos out and be, you know, kind of a proper YouTuber. But yeah, that doesn't really work for me. I just kind of make the videos and then put them out when they're ready. And sometimes I can go days and days and days and days without doing video. And other times, like at the moment, I'm making a lot of videos. And rather than kind of saving them up and kind of spacing them out, which is probably what I should do, I don't. I just publish them because they're ready and I've had lots of fun doing it. And I'm like, oh, I want to show you what I've been doing. You know, it's kind of, I like doing the show and tell side of it. So another question I had, or another sort of suggestion really, was about doing a Zoom call. And it has come up before of like having a live session or like doing a weekly Zoom. And I've always said I wouldn't do it because I'm just not very good at that whole kind of being at the right place at the right time, organised, and kind of having an hour to spare. And the thing about doing a pre-recorded video is that if, you know, the post lady comes or Andrew needs a cup of tea or, you know, he needs me to help him do something, I can just stop recording, do that and come back. As if you're doing a live, and whether it's on Zoom or whether it's on YouTube or wherever it is, not really an option. And I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to say it again. And it's because I keep getting these notifications from YouTube kind of going, you could be making this much money if you had a membership. And it's like, I don't want a membership. I really don't. And it's not that I don't think other people should have them, because I think they should, but I don't want to do it. For all those reasons is that I then have to kind of, I think I'm done. I have to kind of show up and create content, and there has to be members only content, and it all starts getting a bit too much like a job, and I don't want it to feel like a job. Right, well, I think I made a bit of a hash of that. I think these are a bit short, these bits. So, dear fibery folk, what did I do wrong? What do I need to do differently? Did I have too much fibre on my comb to start with? Should I have given it another pass? Should I be spraying it to damp it down a bit? Let me know. Right, I'm going to turn the camera around so I can actually talk to you properly. So another very long, rambly video. But you tell me that you like those, so that's fine. I'll keep doing them. I like making them, I really do, but I just kind of worry a bit that maybe they're a bit boring. Anyway, I had one last thing on my list, which was EPP. In my 5K video, I said that I had kind of decided that actually I didn't really like sitting at the sewing machine and sewing, and I liked hand stitching, and I said I didn't think quilting was going to be my thing. What I failed to say was EPP, and I kind of treated myself to some of these little from Amazon bits of kind of papery thing. I know you can kind of cut your own, but I didn't. I bought these. Why not? And yeah, so I was gifted by a couple of people some very lovely books, and both of them included quite a lot about EPP. I made myself a little pincushion. I really, really enjoyed doing that. And I thought, yeah, I want to do a bit more of this. So I haven't completely abandoned sewing. It's just I'm not sewing at a sewing machine. I don't see myself doing it. And I just like being able to kind of go off and just kind of when Andrew's watching dreadful sci-fi on Netflix. I like some night sci-fi, but he watches some stuff and I'm just like, oh, no, no thanks. I can just put my earpods in. I've got a kind of a, something to listen to or something to watch and do a bit of hand sewing or knitting or, whatever it is that I can do. So, yeah. That was the other thing that I think I kind of wanted to make clear. And the people that gift me those books, I haven't abandoned them, and I haven't abandoned the whole sewing thing. It's just not a machine, not machine quilting, not for me. Right, okay, I'm going to carry on with that. Let me know in the comments how I could improve it. As always, let me know what you're working on, and I will see you in a few days' time, fingers crossed, when I actually am going to spin that Lincoln Longwool and give you a little bit about the bit of a story about the breed and just a few breed facts. Right, I will see you in a few days' time. Bye for now.